Hello my soccer universe, for a quick review for everything that happened in Europe's top leagues on the past weekend. Not included of course Serie A, where I will have a link up here for my review there, and of course the Austrian Bundesliga as well, which you also can find up here. Rather interesting weekend. However, the weekend was more or less in the shadow of the big Madrid derby that had a winner in Barcelona. We also had a really interesting FA Cup round with some remarkable results. One huge upset in there as well, with a little bit of a Lask flavor. Lask flavor also in Germany, where Marin Ljubicic made a dream debut. However, in Germany, the big winners are Bayern Munich, who have now an 8-point cushion atop of the table. We had a huge clash in Portugal. We had quite some interesting results in France, and in the Netherlands we have a new leader, believe it or not, and this is where we will start. It seemed unlikely just a month ago. However, Ajax are now level with PSV, and because they have the head-to-head, are now ahead of PSV. How did that happen? Well, PSV only managed a 1-1 at home against Willem II. Noah Lang gave them the lead in 62nd minute after wholesale changes made by Peter Bosz. However, Tirpan equalizes just 20 minutes later and PSV cannot find a winner. I think that their Champions League clash with Juve was looming large as well, so that might be part of the explanation. However, PSV have not looked convincing as of late. And so Ajax went to Sittard knowing that with a win they can go top of the table with a game less to boot as well. However, it took a while. Then was a Berghuis penalty that he saw saved. However, then Weghorst taps it home in the 68th minute, and then very late on Rasmussen gets Ajax the second goal and really ignites the title chase in the Eredivisie. We also had another surprising result with Utrecht losing at home to Almere City, opening the door for Feyenoord, who win the derby 3-0 over Sparta Rotterdam. However, it was maybe a little bit too high of a scoreline. Timber opened the scoring with a penalty in the first half, and then two late goals made the final scoreline. Was still not enough for Coach Priske to hold on to his job. He was fired on Monday. And Alkmaar also moved closer to Utrecht with a 2-0 home win over Zwolle. And then in Heerenveen we had a really crazy 3-3 draw between the home team and Twente. Twente had a 2-0 and a 3-2 lead. However, deep in stoppage time, Gürbüz gets an equalizer for the home side. Ahead of the big clash between Bayer and Bayern, the defending champions drop the ball, drop points, whereas Bayern actually win, and so it's now an 8-point lead on top of the Bundesliga, and it all seems to look like it's Bayern's title to lose. Bayern already on Friday evening, ahead of the Champions League clash, beat Bremen at home 3-0, 2 Hurricane penalties in the second half, and also Sané getting in on the action. Whereas Leverkusen had to travel to Wolfsburg, and that is never an easy trip, because Wolfsburg as of late have been relatively stable and actually scored an early goal that was disallowed for an offside. Inexplicably, Xabi Alonso actually saved a few players, and you wonder for what? For the clash next week? I don't really know. This is one of the mysterious choices that have been made. Florian Wirtz and Jeremy Frimpong then came on in the 60th minute, and Leverkusen were then pushing for the win. However, they could not find a breakthrough. Meanwhile, even the new coach Niko Kovac, Dortmund have a hard time winning. They lose at home to Stuttgart 2-1, 2 goals right after the half through an Anton Ongol and Chabot in the 61st minute set Stuttgart on the way to the win. And then only very late on, Julian Brandt with a wicked shot pulls one back. However, it's too little too late. The bad form for Dortmund does continue. Speaking of bad form, Heidenheim still occupied the 16th spot, which is the playoff spot, after losing 1-0 to Freiburg thanks to a Grifo goal. Freiburg working themselves into the European spots. Hoffenheim's brief resurgence also came to a screeching halt when Union Berlin went there and win 4-0 away from home. Hollerbach had given them already a halftime lead, and then former Lask player Marin Ljubicic comes on for his debut and within 2 minutes scores the go-ahead goal. He now scored on 3 debuts for his teams, Hajduk Split, Lask, and now Union Berlin as well. He also assists the fourth one by Hollerbach. In that form, Union Berlin might actually look safe under new coach Steffen Baumgart. Meanwhile, Mainz seemed to have hit a little bit of a ceiling, only a 0-0 at home to Augsburg. And the top game of the evening saw Gladbach take on Frankfurt, and it ends in a 1-1 draw, both goals coming in the first half through Kleindienst and Ekitike. Frankfurt still reeling after the Marmouche exit to Manchester City. They had a little bit more of the game, however, it was too little. On Sunday, the two bottom teams met, played out a 2-2 draw in Kiel. Skripski had given Kiel the lead, however, Boadu, with 2 goals within 2 minutes, turns the game on its head, but Tech gets an equalizer in the second half. A late winner for Kiel was disallowed both teams not looking solid enough for survival, to be honest. And wouldn't you know it, in a duel with St. Pauli, Leipzig get the 2-0 win, Šeško and Simon scoring the 2 goals, and also Willi Orban getting sent off. Ahead of the Champions League clash, the 2 playoff teams, Brest and PSG, were allowed to already play on Friday to better prepare. Brest got a relatively easy 2-0 away win at Nantes with Ajacc scoring early and Les Milou in the 96th minute. Whereas PSG beat the other Champions League team, Monaco, 4-1 at home. Yes, PSG have beaten Brest big at home, they have beaten Monaco big at home, so whoever they would have faced, they would have been huge favorites. Vitinha opened the scoring, Zakaria got an equalizer, and this Monaco team can match PSG. However, goal scoring usually lets them down, and PSG just have too much up front. Kvaratskhelia opens his account for the Parisians in the 54th minute, and Ousmane Dembélé scores 2 more to add to his absolute incredible goal tally as of late. Nice rise all the way to 3rd spot thanks to a 2-0 win over Lens, and paired with the losses by Monaco, and we'll talk about Lille in just a second. Guesson had already a goal disallowed early on, then Laborde converts a penalty. Medina is sent off with a 2nd yellow card, and then Jonathan Klaus in the 64th minute adds the 2nd goal for Nice. And I already mentioned it, Lille suffered a shock loss at home to Le Havre. 2-1. Le Havre were quite solid on back and hit on the counter-attack. Hassan and Soumaré scoring the 2 goals. Then Haraldsson's goal was disallowed in the 83rd minute. That might have given Lille a chance to come back. However, it's only a goal by Akpom deep in stoppage time, newly acquired from Ajax, that gives some consolation to the Lillois. Sampolo is out. Rennes back to winning ways. This time it's a 2-0 at the relegation-threatened Saint-Etienne. Ryan Cherki was close to an exit from Lyon. However, he stayed on and really led them to a big win over Stade de Reims. He scored 1 and assisted 2 in the second half. Tagliafico had given Lyon the go-ahead goal in the first half already. And OM defend their 2nd place with a 2-0 win at Angers, with Rabiot and Mopé scoring the 2 goals in the second half. In Spain, it was all about the Derby Madrileño that saw one winner, Barcelona, because it ended in a 1-1 draw, and it was all about the referees ahead of the game, after the game, during the game, all discussions by the defending champions. I want to say one positive thing about it though, that ahead of the game Marcelo got his farewell, and it actually lifted the spirits in the crowd quite some with all the players around. It was actually really cool scene to watch. The derby itself, honestly, it was rather meh in the first half. Real Madrid didn't dare to attack. Atletico Madrid do what Atletico Madrid do best, stay in their shell and wait on the counter-attack, and they get a penalty. A rather, I don't want to even say dubious, because by the rulebook it's a clear penalty. However, I don't think that Germany meant to step on Samuel Lino. However, by the rulebook it's a penalty. Julian Alvarez converts and Atleti have the 1-0 lead. However, they cannot hold on, because the second half Real Madrid for about 15 to 20 minutes really came out, were pushing to get the equals. They get it through Mbappe, but then it also fizzled out a little bit. The game got, I don't want to say even testy, but it was not a pretty game to watch, and it opened the door for Barcelona to cut the lead of the 2 Madrid teams. And on the next day, Barcelona duly obliged, winning 4-1 at Sevilla. However, this was not that easy. True, Lewandowski gave them early lead, however, it was swiftly equalized by Vargas, and the game hung a little bit in the balance. In the second half, Fermin Lopez, who it came on, re-establishes the Barca lead. Rafinha then adds the second one, and then Fermin Lopez is actually sent off, so he made a real mess out of it. Eric Garcia adds a 4th one, so the final score a little bit too high. However, Barcelona only 2 points behind Real Madrid, a point behind Atletico Madrid, all to play for, I would argue. We potentially could add Athletic Club to the title race, as well as they beat Girona at home 3-0 through a sunset hat-trick. First one, a penalty, was very similar to the one by Atletico Madrid. However, they sit now 6 points behind Real Madrid. Doesn't seem realistic, although it would be the true feel-good story of the La Liga season. As for the remaining games, on Friday, Rayo Vallecano beat Valladolid at home thanks to a great shot by Alex Garcia, 1-0. Arguably the game of the week came in Vigo, where Celta, after being 2-0 down at halftime, Antony even scoring, getting his first one for Betis, came back to win it 3-2. Beltrán Rodriguez and then Svedberg in the 87th minute completing a famous comeback. Villarreal are also very much on track for securing a European spot thanks to an unforced 2-1 away win at Las Palmas, Baena and Perez getting the 2 goals. Getafe get a very Getafe-like 1-0 away win at Alaves thanks to Arambari penalty. And if you followed, everyone kind of down on the table did lose, but there's one team that won. Huge 2-0 win for Valencia over Leganés at home. Full Mestalla, they give themselves a shot with that one. Mosquera and Diakabi scoring in the first half to a much celebrated 3 points. There is life in this Valencia team. Another team on the bottom of the table, Espanyol, also lose, giving Real Sociedad a meanwhile rare win 2-1 at home. Geraldo Becker already scoring the first minute, but then Puado equalizes in the 53rd from the penalty spot, and Bryce Mendes gets a very late winner for La Sociedad. And then on Monday evening we see a 1-1 draw between Mallorca and Osasuna. A penalty by Murici had given Mallorca the lead, however in stoppage time Boyomo equalizes. The big game in Portugal saw the defending champions grab a point from Porto in a 1-1 draw. They took the lead late in the first half after a brilliant Cuenda run, who cuts it back, and then Fresneda puts it in the back with a wicked deflection. However, that already put the game on its head because Porto at that point had already hit the crossbar and created plenty of chances. Second half, more of that. Sporting really dug in and tried to hold on to the draw. However, in the 94th minute after a corner kick, Danilo Maju gets the equalizer, and then Porto were still pushing for the win. It was an extended stoppage time period, and while waiting for another corner kick, both Mateus Reis and Diamant got sent off with straight red cards, especially the one by Diamant by headbutting the opponent was a really stupid one. However, Sporting do hang on. Still, this draw allowed Benfica to cut the deficit to Sporting to 4 points. Pavlidis opening a scoring with a brace in the first half. Otamendi reestablishes 2-0 lead after Bernardo had cut the lead in half. Very late on, Rodriguez pulls one back from Mora range. Santa Clara also continued a good form, winning 2-1 away at AVS. While Braga draw level with Porto thanks to 2-0 home win to Gil Vicente. The weekend in England was all about the fourth round of the FA Cup, a round that is still not finished as I'm shooting this video. However, it had a big upset and quite some interesting results along the way. The only top 6 teams that are remaining are the 2 Manchester clubs, and both of them had actually hard work to do. Manchester United took on Leicester at home, found themselves down at the halftime after a really unconvincing performance, 1-0. However, in the second half, Xerxes get the equalizer, and then Harry Maguire, a stoppage time winner. However, he was clearly offside. However, no VAR in the FA Cup, sparking more VAR controversy. And also City had to fight hard and come back from a halftime deficit at Leyton Orient. A brilliant long-range shot onto the crossbar and onto the back of Ortega gave Leyton Orient a halftime lead. However, then the cavalry came on. Kuzanov gets his first goal for Manchester City, and Kevin De Bruyne, after Grealish assists, gets City the win. Meanwhile, Bournemouth, one of the dark horses in this competition, get a 2-0 away win at Everton. Both goals coming in the first half. Another dark horse might be Fulham, getting a 2-1 away win at Wigan. Rodrigo Muniz scoring both goals. Probably the most entertaining game was Newcastle's 3-2 away win at Birmingham. They were 1-0 down already in the first minute through Laird. However, Joe Willock and Callum Wilson turned it around in the 21st and 26th, only for Ivada in the 40th to equalize. Then it's kind of frantic, it's rather rough also, but Willock does get the winner for Newcastle in the 82nd minute. Brighton then beat a really poor Chelsea side, despite being a goal down, Verbruggen own goal in the 5th minute, 2-1. The goals came through Rutter in the 12th minute and then Mitoma in the 57th for a very deserved 2-1 win. 2 goals by Joao Gomes and Mateusz Cunha within 2 minutes give Wolves a 2-0 win at Blackburn. However, the big upset of the round came in Plymouth. Liverpool featuring a B squad. Yes, the Premier League and the Champions League are probably more important. They also are in another final, so they thought they could rest some players. However, they lose to Plymouth 1-0. Huge win for new Austrian coach Miron Muslic, and also former LASK player Maxi Talovierov featured in that win after he got beaten twice last season by Liverpool in LASK colours. The winning goal came from the penalty spot through Hardy. In the marquee fixture of the round, Aston Villa disposed of Spurs 2-1. There's another title gone for Spurs. Jalen Ramsey are in the first minute opening the scoring, and Morgan Rogers adding a second one. Only very late on, Matthias Tell could pull one back. It seems like it might be time for Spurs to sack Ange Postecoglou. And then on Monday evening, Crystal Palace got a relatively unfussed 2-0 win at Doncaster Rovers. Well, that concludes my review of the past weekend. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I'll talk to you soon about more things in my soccer universe. Bye! Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!